I can think of a Trent game. I can think of a Luke Shaw game.
I don't know.
I can think of a 1-Bissaka game. Yeah. I don't have a Reece James game in my mind where it's like, wow, this is like Reece James. I don't think Rodrigo could take the keys at Liverpool. And I love Rodrigo. I think Rodrigo's best environment is at a team like Madrid.
Yeah.
Because just the quality around him, he's better as well.
True.
You give Rodrigo Anfield 12 p.m. kickoff, you're not going to see the best Rodrigo. Saka must earn his world-class tag this year. Earn it, and then we won't fight you, we'll put you in that bracket, and it's yours.
Exactly.
If you're watching this, thank you so much for joining us. Debates Never Die is back for another live episode. I'm here with my boys, joined by Rick Gans and Les Mokoena, and we're here to talk about a few things that are on our mind. Debates Never Die is a platform where we get things off our chest. And guys, I'm going to get straight into it. The season's underway, and I think there's just a few things that I want to get off my chest. Guys, there's few guys I'm giving the last chance this year. Yeah. Certain people have been wasting our time. I'm tired of hearing the same stories about certain players. And it just got me thinking about like how this season is make or break for a certain couple of guys. I know you guys have in your head as well who you want to discuss, but I'm going to jump straight into it and say that for me this season, a player that I need to see a lot from is Marcus Rashford. I think we've all been here from his very first day. We've seen his highs, the highest of highs, and we've seen his lowest of lows. And I think if he doesn't now decide what type of player he wants to be and decide like what his level is, I genuinely think, and Toby has also said it, he might be finished. We might have to write Rashford off after this season. But it got me thinking just like, it's a big season for a lot of players. And I want to hear from you guys, like in your heads, like who are you now saying like it's make or break? It's crunch time for you. Because I'll tell you something, at the end of this year, Rashford is going to be 4 years younger than the Brighton manager. That is scary. That is scary. And by now we need to know what this guy's about. But I don't know, I'll start with you. Who it's crunch time. It's crunch time for who this season for you?
Okay, the player I'm gonna pick is Bukayo Saka, and let me explain. Right, obviously not for the same reasons as why Tab would pick Marcus Rashford, but I've just got one problem with Saka and one problem with most Arsenal fans, right? Because they wanna act like he's this big star, right? But when he doesn't show up in the games that we need him to show up in, everyone just goes ghost. No one actually puts responsibility on Saka and says, what did he do? For example, last year against Villa, those are, you get me? That's a season-deciding game, And I know there are a lot of memes going on around about how he likes to limp, after he's had a bad performance.
So, Regan, is your thing he doesn't take the game by the scruff of the neck enough?
For me, I think we just need to decide whether he's a very good player or whether he's a great player. And I feel like, this season is going to decide that because, his numbers are good, don't get me wrong. But it's like, for me, world class is, are you going to show up when we really need you to show up?
Yeah. Is Saka that kind of player? And I'm asking in relation to, let's put Saka and Rashford, like, not on the same level, but it's like what their clubs expect of them, right?
Yes.
Rashford has shown when he led the line for United that he was bagging goals. He went on a hot streak of form. He was winning United points. He was getting us through cups, right? Is it fair for him to have those expectations? Like, should Arsenal fans be looking at him to be the guy? Or should we just say, like, no, Saka is, system player is the wrong way to use it, but like, Saka fits into the system very well, but this is his job. Is it fair to look at Saka and expect 15 goals, 15 assists from him? Is it the right thing? I'm asking from an Arsenal point
of view. I personally think it is. Because, if you look at our front three, right, it's Saka, Havertz, Martinelli, maybe Trossard, right? Yeah. Saka is by far the best player in that front 100%. Three. So if he's not going to show up, I'm not expecting Kai Havertz to be the guy to show up when we need him most. So I feel like,
So the jump you want to see this season, is it more goals and assists or just in those games that he would have ghosted in, you want him to do something?
I think both.
So what's a good season? GA in the league?
Goals. GA?
Yeah.
I think 30 plus for sure. But I'm more concerned about the goals. I want to see at least 20 goals from Bukayo Saka this season.
Okay.
Yeah. Does Saka have 20 goals in him? I'm asking because
Pins, yeah, he does.
And I think
he does.
That's what we need to see though. Like, are you that guy?
Okay, fair enough.
Are you that guy? Because I know he's not necessarily a striker, but it's like, you are our guy. You get me?
Nah, I hear you.
You are a guy. I mean, I don't see who else is going to show up if not him.
Fair enough. And I think there was a lot of debate last season about the world class tag, right? And like whether we're throwing it around too loosely. And Saka was one of them.
Yeah.
To say like, is he world class or not? And I said he wasn't world class. Not because I don't rate him, but I think world class, there's a certain level of performance week in, week out, and in the big games. Once you reach that, then you're world class.
Okay.
So fair enough. Like if you're saying he must be that guy, then he must basically Saka must earn his world class tag this year.
Yeah.
Like
exactly.
earn it, and then we won't fight you. We'll put you in that bracket, and it's yours.
Exactly. Because I'm not trying to call out our other members, but you know, you got guys like Sheiks and Kanye want to act like, you know,
Act like
this guy is that great. You get me wrong. And I like Saka. He's a good player.
He is.
But I feel like, you know,
There's part of that what you said, Ree, that I agree. I think obviously last season was Arsenal's first season back in the champs for a long time. I think if we've seen him do it for England, we've seen him do it in the Prem. I would like to see him. You know, there's games against it was Bayern.
Yeah.
Just be the guy.
Yeah.
Be the guy. You
Yeah.
know. So yeah, I hear what you're saying.
yeah.
Hopefully he does it in the champs. I think you could. Just wanted to hear from you guys. In the world, you say he's not world class tab, right?
Yeah.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Yeah.
Not
He's
yet.
got potential to be there. Other than, I think, Salah, are there any other better right wingers in the world?
I don't think so, but
Okay. So he's
I-
second.
yeah, second.
He's
But
second.
I also feel like, you know, this whole right wing, left wing thing, I feel like if we're going to talk about wingers,
They
let's
should
talk
play
about
both.
wingers, you get me?
Okay, fair enough.
Because, you know, the
Okay.
the whole right left thing, you know, that's what Saka fans love to use as well.
That's how they buy points. That's how they get him up the list. And
Like-
look, this is not a Saka slander session.
Yeah,
it's
it's
not a
not,
Saka
it's
slander
not.
session. But like you're right in the sense that we don't have to just throw this world class
Yeah.
word
Yeah.
around. If there's
Yeah.
one world class guy in a position for now, for the next, let's
okay.
accept it. Like
Yeah,
it's okay.
it's okay.
I think
Yeah,
last year, Oaks were just too desperate. They're like, hey, we ran out of world class guys. I think Di Maria was gone. We're like, hey, we don't have a winger. Let's give it to Saka. Like, look, calm down. Like, let Oaks earn their stripes as well. But fair enough. Like, Saka, the gauntlet has been laid. You've heard from Regans. Show us this year. I know you watch DND, so I know you're going to see this. Show us this year. You're that guy. And you know what? We'll dap you at the end of the season. We'll make sure we give you your daps. But that's Rashford for me. That's Saka from you. Les, I have a feeling I know which direction you're going to go. But let's hear from you. Who has to just show you more than what they've been showing you this season?
So I think I'm going to stick with my team, Chelsea. And definitely it's Reece James. We've had conversations in the group chat. Sheiks was busy saying this. If Reece James doesn't show up this season, he's Wilshere. He's on that Wilshere trajectory where once a great player, but injuries hampered him. So I think for me, I'd like to see a fit season. I mean, he's already injured. He hasn't even played.
I was
a game.
about to ask.
He's already and I don't know if he's putting on. He's got too much weight. I don't know what it is. He needs a different training regime. But for me, I need to see a season where Reece James plays at least, and this is 28 games. Starts at least 28 games for Chelsea in the league, right?
Well, I'll tell you for free, that's not going to happen. So I don't know. I don't know what this guy wants.
So
It's definitely not happening.
28 games, bro. Reece James.
Dog,
That's a long way.
I need a season where he's fit. We can rotate between him and Gusto, but I need him to be, you know, a mainstay. He's our captain, bro. You can't have him not play games, dude.
Yeah.
And I think that cliche, the best ability is availability, and the past few years he just hasn't been available. So for me, I need him to be that guy we all thought he was going to be when he broke out. It was
What?
between him and Trent.
Yeah, slightly worse than Trent.
Yeah, you can say that. That's not a slander. Trent is amazing. So even if he's slightly worse than Trent, but I just need to see him, for me, play games.
Yeah.
I don't know what you guys think on Reece James. I know Tabzo had slander for him.
It wasn't
in the group.
It wasn't slander. It was just to say like that Wilshere thing was a bit far fetched.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
Wilshere was like had games, bro. Wilshere had a CV where he was like, you know, though he announced himself to the world.
One
Whereas
game against Barca, one game.
the game, bro.
Oh,
like
come
bro,
on.
that was the game. But like and like James, I can't think of the James game. I can think of a Trent game. I can think of a Luke Shaw game.
I don't know.
I can think of a one Bissaka game.
Yeah.
I don't have a Reece James game in my
Yeah.
mind where it's like, wow, this is like Reece James. And like,
Bernabeu, he had a few
Yeah,
good
he did.
As a
Lost,
result.
he lost as well.
Yeah,
So
he
it's-
lost, but the year
Yeah,
we won the Champions
yeah,
League,
he
yeah, now he bowled.
but like, I think from my side with the Rashford thing, it's like, Rashford increasing his level improves United. Saka, if he goes up another level, probably takes Arsenal to a title of sorts. I don't know how much another level of Reece James, where that takes Chelsea.
That's
so,
true.
like, if you ask him to just stay fit for 20 games, but, like, performance level, quality...
You don't think that takes us up a level?
He'll be good, but the players around him will have to do... Look at Cole Palmer last season. He was able to stand out in that, like, group of players, but, like, it didn't result in anything.
True.
So if Reece James has an amazing season and you finish 7th, will you be content with that?
For his personal development, yeah, but I guess I hear what you're saying. Yeah.
Do you think Reece James having an amazing season in a dead average Chelsea side improves him as a player? Because he's not going to go anywhere.
Yeah.
Like, he's not going to be signed. He's not going to be, like, at the top of the transfer list with his injury record now. Like,
True.
So, where to for Reece James? Like, is he just now... Because we don't want him to fall into, like, the Shaw category, where he's now just stuck at Chelsea, contract after contract, some seasons 15 games, some seasons 20 games. Like, you don't want him to go down the route. But, like, what can Reece James do to, like, improve his standing? Because people rate him. We rate him, right?
Yeah.
But, like, him staying fit is not going to make us rate him anymore. So, like, it's a bit tricky for him, no?
Yeah.
No,
I do think just across European clubs, they are looking for right backs. I mean, you guys are supposedly in the market for Trent when his contract's up. So I don't know, maybe there's a world where he stays fit this season, and for him, development is going to Madrid and being the guy there. You know, he's best friends with Jude. So anything could happen. So I don't know. As a Chelsea fan, I'd hate to see that happen, but I do think there are a few clubs looking for right backs, bro. Yeah, I don't know. Would you take him at Madrid?
I think if he stays fit, 100%, for sure.
Would you take James or Trent?
I think I'll take a healthy James over Trent. I won't lie to you.
I'm not mad at that.
I would, yeah.
I'm not mad at that.
I think I would.
I would still take, as a Madrid guy, I would take Trent because, I mean, I think Trent's a star.
Yeah, he is a star.
When you go to Madrid and you're a star, things align for you.
Yeah.
We saw the Jude effect.
Yeah.
But a fit James...
It's solid, all round.
But all I'm saying is at the end of the season, we need to watch this episode because what we can't have... If James doesn't do it this season, he's now an on-his-day player.
Yeah,
we're going to be talking about him the same way we speak about other men.
We can give him this season, and if he doesn't do it this season, I'm sorry. There's only so much you can do.
Okay, we've kept it in the Prem. We've kept it to our personal teams, which is good. But I think just on this, players I need to see more from, and I think this is more personal, so don't get mad. But a guy who, I'll tell you right now, I don't believe in, is Victor Osimhen. I'm seeing 3-digit price tags for this guy, right? To go to either Chelsea, PSG. He hasn't played for Napoli this season. Conte hasn't played him because of this transfer thing. But no, guys, I don't think I've seen enough from Osimhen to believe that he's a 3-digit striker.
But do you not think that's the reason no one's bitten yet? Because people are saying he's not worth that money. That's why no one's got in. I mean, Chelsea at the start of the window probably could have gone in instead of buying all these smaller players. PSG just sold or don't have Mbappe on the books anymore. They could have gone in. So maybe people around Europe are saying, same thing as you. This price tag is a lie. And that's why he hasn't been sold.
So we agree that the price tag doesn't match what we think of the player.
You've given us like one good season. Bro.
One, bro. And like we've seen what guys can do off one season. Like
exactly.
So okay, I'm not reaching when I say Osimhen needs to show us more.
No. Definitely not.
I'm just gonna throw names at you guys.
Okay.
And then you'll tell me when I'm wilding. I think another guy who I wouldn't say make or break, but it's very important for him to have a good season to just prove to himself that he can do it. I think it's Rasmus Højlund. I think Rasmus Højlund needs 20 plus goals, but he also needs like to play 20 games in a row.
Yeah.
So that people can get the belief that he can be our number 9 for the future. Because I feel like if he doesn't now, this time next year we'll be talking about United need a striker. And I swear to God, if I hear that one more time in one more window, I'm going to lose my mind. So Højlund, we agree, needs to show us more.
100%.
Les, I'll throw on to you, Nicholas Jackson.
He scored 14 goals in the league, man. What more must he show us?
So why do I keep hearing that Chelsea needs to sign a striker from social media, from pundits? Like, why do I keep hearing this thing? Is Jackson your guy for the next 3 years? Do you think he can lead your line for the next 3 years?
He's young. I think give him this season. I personally don't want to get another striker. I mean, I don't want to buy another player. Chelsea needs a fucking transfer ban. We don't need to buy players. I hear Osimhen, I hear Ivan Toney potentially. I do fear that probably down to the last day of the window we'll go in for Toney. But I think he did well. 14 goals in the league, none of them were pens. Yes, he's very erratic. I mean, we saw in the game against City where
he missed a lot of chances.
Yeah, he's also offside quite
goals,
a bit.
But he missed
Exactly.
a lot of chances.
I think the last player to score that many goals for Chelsea was Tammy Abraham. He scored 15 goals before he left.
Okay.
Or the season just before that, Lampard's season. So I think he did well. I think the only way, you can't keep buying these players and wanting them to develop and then just buying other players to start ahead of them.
Yeah.
So I would personally give him another season. What improvement looks like is more than 14 goals. So you've scored 14 last season. Sure, it's more sure, it's 15, 16, even if it's not 20. I don't think he's there yet. The Prem is quite difficult. He's still adjusting. There's new players in and around him. So yeah, I personally am not as down on the Chelsea striker situation on Jackson. Yeah, I don't know. What do you think?
Do you think it's going to be a guaranteed starter this year though? Because I don't think he's going to get as much game time.
Yeah, I think also just
last year, especially with Felix coming in.
Yeah,
as well.
because the signings we made and the structure that Nkunku can play up front, Felix can play up front. There might be a situation where there's a false nine. People against we played Servette in the Conference League.
Oh yes. I didn't.
They played a team called
Cole Palmer came off the bench to play false nine. So I think there will be a lot of that.
Okay.
But if he does get the opportunities he got last season, I do expect him to improve.
Fair enough.
Okay.
Gans, interested to hear your thoughts on a guy who I think has gone under the radar far too much for my liking now. £100 million Jack Grealish, bro. City have signed another winger. In the first couple of games this season, we haven't seen him play. Like, surely, if he doesn't turn up this season, they just should cut their losses. Because, I think more than anyone, this price tag has not followed him as much as it's followed other players.
True.
Other players have been killed for doing less
and
or
we know
for
why.
more. Yeah, we know why.
Yeah.
We know why. But still, what do you think Grealish has it in him to actually... I mean, you saw him lose his place in the England side, which, I mean, he would have felt like he was guaranteed to go to the Euros at some stage. Do you think his career is in a bit of trouble? He's not young either.
How old is Grealish?
28? You sure he must be turning 28? 27, 28 this year. Like, what can Grealish turn this around for you?
I don't think so, to be honest. Honestly, I think he's had his best season for City. I think the year that they won the Champions League, especially the second half of that season, he played really well. And I won't lie, I think after the Champions League, he got a bit complacent. I think for him, you know, because knowing his story, starting at Villa, like winning the treble, I feel like for him, that was good enough. And I honestly don't think he's going to give City, anything more, to be honest.
So if he doesn't perform this season, tell us what you're saying, he's out of City's plans, he should find a new club.
Well, we know.
I think so.
We know City can sell well, so I think.
But if Pep leaves, which all rumors are this is his last season, he might leave, might move on, then surely there's a new manager comes in, they're like, we'll take Grealish back to what he was, a winger that he has touchline but maybe drives it at right backs more or whatever. Yeah,
possibly. I don't think we're going to see the best of him in this current Pep system, but I think if a new manager comes in, then maybe, because he's not the same player for me as well. Like,
he's changed. He's changed, bro.
Yeah, he's not the same player. You get me? He's not.
Facts.
But then can he? If he was for sale today, like, where would you even place him now to even give him the best chance of being that Villa player again? Because Villa have moved on from needing that type of player. Where would he even go? Like,
Al Hilal.
Saudi, I was about to say yes to my
damn. Yo, Grealish is getting Saudi allegations
because of the wages. I'm sure it's crazy.
That's
and
crazy.
Where else? Who? I don't think anyone would want to buy him.
Damn, that's scary.
Yeah. Honestly, I don't see it happening. Yeah.
Yeah, that's scary, dude.
Then I guess the last one for me, we're going to keep it. I think there's a general theme that we need attackers to do more. So I'll put one more name out there. Okay. A guy who really has to turn up this season for his team is Darwin Núñez. I don't know if anyone disagrees, but I think with Liverpool are now in their new era. Like you said, all rumors are pointing towards that this will be Salah's final year.
Yeah.
So if I'm sitting here as a Liverpool fan, and thank God I'm not, but I need a sign of who's going to take the line, who's going to lead the line post Salah. And I think now, if Darwin Núñez doesn't show this season that he can have some sort of consistency, be an efficient 9 for Liverpool, I think Liverpool are in the market for a striker next season.
It's his third season now.
Yeah.
Liverpool. Hey man, this is just that Benfica pump fake, bro. Benfica know how to pump fake things, bro. They sell so well. I don't know how. We had one good season in the Champions League and that good season there, and I don't know, man. The start of this season, Jota's been playing up front.
Exactly.
Gakpo had a good Euro, so there's rumors that he could be up front or in that front line. I don't see it. I don't see it. I really don't. Where does he play? Up front, on the right? Is he?
Yeah, I don't know if I agree with Nunez because I don't think I'm not looking at him as a guy to take over Salah. I think that's a bit obviously given his price tag.
That's what I'm saying. Isn't that actually a bit of an indictment on him to say that you're not looking at him to be the guy when they signed him?
We should be 100%. But I feel like I don't think he's a better 9 than Jota, and I don't think any Liverpool fan
thinks that.
Or even thought that when they bought him, because I mean Jota is solidified. Let's keep it 100. Jota is solidified.
I think Jota has juice, but do I have him as a 30?
I rate him like that.
Do I have him as a 30 like gunman? I don't have Jota in that tier. I know what he can do. Yeah. I know what he can do. I know he can be a bit part player, not bit part, but like I know where his strengths are. But like I don't think Liverpool can start Jota for 30 plus games up front. I think they'll try to do other things because they know Jota's not going to give you something. There's certain games where Jota will give you very little.
Fair enough. So
you play to Jota's strengths, but like if I was a Liverpool fan, like, and I've got Jota or Nunez, and I have to say one of you guys has to turn up, I'm looking at Darwin first.
Yeah.
At least Jota's got a bit on his CV to like Jota's performed in big games. Jota's gone on hot streaks. Like Nunez, dude, give us something. Yeah. Give us some. Make other teams fear you. You know what I'm saying?
To be honest, the way you're looking at Nunez is the way I'm looking at Luis Diaz. Because I feel like
he should be there.
When he first came to Liverpool, he was hot. I think when he came, he was hot, and then he kind of died down, and he hasn't really been the same ever since. And I feel like he actually has the potential, to be that guy.
Random question: do you guys take Nicholas Jackson or Darwin Nunez?
Darwin Nunez.
Darwin Nunez.
Has Darwin ever touched 14 goals in the league?
I know that if they were guaranteed to play the same amount of games over the next 3 years, Nunez would outscore Jackson. I know that for a fact, and I think Nunez can score more types of goals than Jackson, and I take a guy who can score more types of goals. Because then, Darwin I think he's capable of a lot more. That's why I put him on my list of guys who have to show up, because I know we've seen in flashes what he can do.
Yeah.
I wonder what Liverpool fans would say.
Interesting, because they're gonna you're saying that they could potentially lose Salah. Diaz has not fulfilled his potential. Gakpo has not fulfilled his potential. Nunez hasn't fulfilled his potential.
That's what I'm saying. Respect Jota. Jota is probably the only guy in that squad who's been consistent, bro.
But has Jota held it down?
I think he has. I feel like injuries have obviously played a part.
If Salah leaves,
when Jota is healthy,
if Salah leaves at the end of the year, are you giving the keys to Jota?
No, I'm not giving the keys to Jota. I'm not giving the keys to Jota, but I know he's a consistent player though.
The keys are going to go to whoever replaces Salah. Right?
Yeah,
they're going to have to buy someone.
They have to.
Okay. So they're gonna sign another guy, and then say, here are the keys.
Yeah.
And here you're gonna play with the other guys who we tried to give the keys to, who didn't want to take the keys, and now you have to take the keys.
I think they must sign Rodrigo.
I don't think Rodrigo could take the keys at Liverpool, and I love Rodrigo.
So,
I think Rodrigo's best environment is at a team like Madrid.
Yeah.
Because just the quality around him, he's better as well.
True.
You give Rodrigo Anfield 12 p.m. kickoff, you're not going to see the best Rodrigo. You're not going to see the best Rodrigo.
Facts.
But I don't know, do you guys have anyone else who you just think that, like, this season, as Kanye loves to say, like, show us who you are. While you guys think, there's an outside one here, which is a guy who had an amazing season last year, and then one of the worst Euros is Phil Foden.
Yes.
So could you argue that there's a bit of pressure on Foden now because if Foden doesn't have a great Prem season, then he becomes a one-season wonder. You had the keys when De Bruyne was injured, you had a great Prem, but when your country needed you, and then following season, if you don't turn up, so is there a case to say that Foden is actually under a bit of pressure to show us something?
I think I touched on this in the last episode with Malcolm and Toby, and I was saying, the thing with Foden is that even though he did win PFA Player of the Year, I don't think at any point in the season personally, I didn't look at him and be like, yo, this is the best player in the league. You get me? I mean, I think he performed the best.
Yeah.
But I don't think any of us looked at him and was like, damn,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
he is the best player. So as much as I think there is pressure on him, I think any rational football fan will know that he's not the guy they're trying to make him out to be. Not saying that he's not a great player, but
And like-
I don't think he's the guy.
Yeah, and it goes back to the thing we discussed earlier about world class. Like, is Foden world class? No, because world class will deliver that performance season in, season out, and then go to the Euros and do the same thing.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
exactly.
And we've seen 2 Euros back to back. Saka has showed up for his country, so you could even argue that the next guy to touch that world class level is probably Saka over thing.
Yeah, before Foden.
Even Palmer, bro.
Yeah, I was gonna say Foden needs to be worried about Palmer.
Yeah.
Foden's being caught by Palmer now.
Because you can argue that Palmer outperformed in these Euros. As well.
Yeah.
Like,
Whenever he
given
came
the
on,
minutes that he played. Yeah,
Fact.
100%.
Alright, then you guys let us know in the comments what you think. Who for you has to turn up the season? Who has to show you? Let us know in the comments, and keen to hear your thoughts.
I've got one more actually, and I wanted to say Tchouameni.
You think so?
Yeah. Because for me, when I look at Tchouameni, he's a good player, but I'm still very unsure about it. I won't lie to you.
I think the Madrid environment, just very quickly, like the Madrid environment it's harsh to be a Madrid player, but it's more forgiving because Tchouameni's there for the long run.
Yeah.
So he can be bad and then get good again and like a thing like that. He's not going to be axed for someone. There's no one like hot on his heels. They'll just change the system to let someone else play there. But like Tchouameni will be given the grace to come back.
True. No, because when watching the Euros, and for France especially, right, we know how people were, roasting that midfield, basically saying that, Mbappe has no
support.
Yeah.
And
it's like,
I
I think
there's no one to
Tchouameni
play
should
the
feel,
football.
he should feel disrespected by
Yeah.
that. You get me? He should feel disrespected by that.
But it's tough with Madrid. You guys are going to get a centre back injury, then he's going to have to play centre back.
Yeah, true.
And then,
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
True.
But gents, we could go on and on. There's a lot of players who have a lot to prove this season. It's going to be interesting to see who actually steps up to the table and who doesn't. Because like I said, after the season, there's certain guys I don't want to hear about. So this is your last chance. We're not going to discuss you on Debates Never Die or anything after that. I don't want to hear about you. We told you who you are. But let us know who you think, who's on your list, who needs to step up to the plate, who you have high expectations for. I think it's good, guys. We should have high expectations for players all the time. Like these guys, we do a lot for them, and they need to repay the faith. But we hope you enjoyed the episode. Make sure to follow us on our socials, and we'll catch you in the next one.